Today I'm going to make this chicken rice casserole. It's a play on a dish that my dad made when I was young. He does it differently. He just throws can of cream of chicken, can of cream of mushroom in a crock pot with a bunch of, I think he used chicken breast, but I don't know what he uses. And then lets it slow cook for a while and then serves it with rice, and sometimes he makes puff pastry with it, but this is kind of my easy millennial adaptation of it. So it's gonna go pretty quick once I start. So I'm gonna set the oven to 375. Take a sip of my burr. That's gonna be a really butter heavy dish. Just put that there. So I'm gonna take this guy. Ooh, the butter's kind of soft already. And just rub it around as good as I can. I don't know how big this dish is. If you want less, use a smaller dish, though I don't know there is. If you want more, use a bigger one. Tell me your secrets, rice. I'm gonna take a cup of white rice, not instant, because that's bullshit. I think I want a cup. Let's see. Let's check a cup and a half.
Wave to your fans.
I don't have any fans. I just chopped up some garlic. I'm gonna make it a paste so it incorporates easily. I'm not gonna do it as much as the last video. Just enough to get it a little, so it distributes better. We've got that. I'm gonna just put it in my measuring cup. Now that I got my rice in there, I'm gonna chop up my broccoli. So I don't really want huge chunks of broccoli, but I also don't want to disintegrate it to the point where it just makes my whole dish green. So we're gonna figure out a happy place in between for all these. That was more broccoli than I needed it to be. But hey, broccoli is good for you. So I'm not going to throw these out. I'm going to just put them with my stems so I can feed to the birds. Because I like birds. Now we're going to come back to our garlic that we have. And here I have a, should have warmed it up, too late, can of cream of mushroom soup. There's this tempting roasted garlic option and I went for it. Now, like I said, my dad's recipe normally does cream of chicken, but I couldn't find a kind that didn't have mechanically separated chicken in it, and I'm just not down with that shit. Now I'm going to throw about half the can, a little more in there. So I got like a quarter of the can left in here. And I have this. Alright, and I have this bouillon. It's basically a stock concentrate, because I kept buying boxes of stock and leaving them and not using half of them and just go to waste. So I'm gonna take a healthy teaspoon of that just to compensate for the lack of cream of chicken that I'm using. I'm also gonna take the same amount, put it back in the can. That's pretty good. Some of the softened parts of the butter, and put them in here. A little bit of that side. There we go. This is my salvaged piece of butter. So I'm going to take some hot water. I'm going to run a few tablespoons in each. I'll probably put like a cup of water in this one just to really loosen it up, and then just a little sprinkle in this one. So I'll be right back. Alright, so I know this doesn't really look very appealing right now, but I'm just letting everything kind of absorb the heat from the water for a second before I try to stir it up. Normally canned soups run kind of salty, so I'm not going to put any salt in this part of the dish. Put a good amount of ground black pepper also over your broccoli, because you don't want under-seasoned broccoli. And now, more so for color than flavor, I'm going to put just like maybe a quarter to a half a teaspoon each of paprika and turmeric. I'm just still kind of trying to compensate for the lack of chicken cream soup that I'm using. The turmeric is purely for color. I just want that beautiful yellow color that you normally get with cream of chicken. Now I choose cream of mushroom over cream of celery or cream of chicken or anything like that because I don't mind the mushroom chunks really. They're not as processed as the chicken would be, and I think it adds a really like hearty, earthy flavor to things that you cannot miss. Alright. We're going to move to our can, which is just pretty much more condensed version. Creamy. Well, this one's still pretty chunky. Okay, so we're almost there, I promise. You just pour this beautiful mixture over. There we go. Now I'm going to mix it through to make sure all the rice is getting some. So we don't want any dry pockets or anything. Part of adding the water makes it so you can actually cook the rice, because if you try to cook rice with too thick of a liquid, it will never absorb to the point that you really want it to. I might have to add a little bit more water to this, but this is pretty liquidy, so we'll see. Yeah, I think I'm going to add a touch more water. Making the water hot just kind of helps things to dissolve and mix a little bit better as well. Here we go. That looks more like something that you would cook rice in than just moist rice. Okay, so we're pretty much at a 50-50 broccoli to rice ratio here, but that's okay because we want to live a long time. Actually, no, this is fine. Don't mix it. You're good. So now I have my chicken. I washed it and I salted it while it sat, but I want to add a little tiny bit of pepper. I'm only going to season the top really because the bottom is going to be nestled into the casserole. A little bit more salt just to make sure it's covered. And then a little tiny bit of paprika just for pretty color. Because we like things to be pretty, don't we? Alright, so now I'm going to just take all the chickens. I might not have enough space in here for all these chickens. Nestle them in. I'm going to have them pretty much half submerged. You want a little bit of it to crisp up. Sorry, I accidentally death stared at you. I take it back. It's already a little bit, how do you say, full, so I'm not going to use this whole thing. I just want to get a little bit of that extra goodness on top so the chicken gets some good coating and flavor. Can we do all of it? We can fit all of it. we're good. Alright. So I'm pretty much gonna cook this at 375, covered for around half an hour, and then check it, see how much liquid is absorbed, how much is left, and then just pretty much continue cooking until it's done for there. It should be about 40 minutes in total, but you never know. I will see you back in like 20 minutes. Alright, so I lied, and I needed to cook it for an hour, not 20 minutes, before uncovering it. So, we're gonna just, ooh, she looking thick. Alright, so, cooked for an hour, needs to cook uncovered now for 20 minutes, and that is the exact amount of time that I need to cook my puffed pastry. So, when I was young, there was this kind of thing that my dad did. I don't know if, no, it was just something that he bought, that there were these cute little cups that had a hole punched out of the center. So I'm gonna try to accomplish that right now, but I don't know how well it's gonna work out. So I'm gonna take a single sheet that's been thawing for like an hour in the fridge, cut it into approximately even squares. There should be 9 of them. I use these guys as spacers, make my life easier. So those aren't even at all, but we're gonna roll with it because it's what we have. Those are not even at all. I'm horrible at that. Alright, so once we've got these arranged in somewhat of an even distribution, is about as good as I'm gonna get. I ran out of parchment paper, I had just enough to actually cover the thing, so I'm gonna take this shot glass and I'm gonna just roughly score around it. Alright, you can brush these with puff pastry, you can brush your puff pastry with puff pastry if you want. You can brush them with butter or something if you want, but I don't really care. I'll just throw them in. 20 minutes later, we'll see how it goes. Alright, so it's been 20 minutes since I uncovered, it's been more than 20 minutes, it's been like 25 minutes since I uncovered the casserole and I put the pastries in, and let's take a look. You could cook these a little longer, but I'm hungry, so they're coming out. And now for the main event. Oh. Now it doesn't really look the best, but it's gonna taste really good. I'll show you what it looks like when it's served up. Okay, so here's an attempt, a one-handed attempt at, okay. It does kind of what I want it to.